Okay, so for number 13 at 7.4, I'm supposed to supply all possible trig functions.
Oh, that's fun.
Okie doke.
Aren't there an infinite number of those?
Nope.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to provide all possible trig functions of the form a sine or cosine of t plus k, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they said? Yeah.
Okay.
You guys kind of with me on that?
Okay.
Okay, so this slims things down just a touch because now I'm not allowed horizontal shifts and horizontal compressions, which would make things disastrous in terms of calculating all the possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so if the midline's 3, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's not exact y equals 3. So 3, I don't understand the question. Like, you said the answer within your question.
If the midline's 3, what does that mean in terms of this thing?
Oh, it means that your plus k is 3.
Yeah, it means that you shifted this thing up 3, right? Okay, so k is 3. Okay, then what else? They told me that amplitude is 2.
Well, originally is 2. Yeah.
So it goes up 2 or down 2, right?
So that makes it 5 and...
So that makes this a 2, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the vertical stretch.
Because I did a vertical stretch to change the amplitude, right?
Right.
Which thing happened first?
You stretch.
No, Connor, which thing happened first? Come on, dude, you got this.
Well, yeah, I mean.
So I'm doing the cosine, right? Sine or cosine. And then the next thing that's going to happen is this 2. It's a vertical stretch, right? And we're in y land, so that's happening first.
Okay.
Make sense?
Does it?
The shift happens first.
Shift happens second.
Yes, it does.
Stretch first, then shift.
Well,
If I
for
shifted
Y
first,
length, it didn't matter though.
for y land they go in the regular order.
If you shifted first and then you stretched, your stretch would be out of proportion.
Yeah, if I shift first and then stretch, instead of going up 3, if I went up 3 and then stretched, I'd get an up of 6 in the end.
Yeah, so
My midline
your
is
midline
equal.
would be jacked up. So.
It depends on your input.
That would kind of look like this.
Right. That,
And then you distribute it, right, and see that plus 6. You guys kind of good with this? Okay. Then they tell me it's got a maximum value at t is 0. So
So when
if this is t is 0 here, right,
has to equal 5.
that's got to be the somewhere there's a maximum, which means I better get 5 out when I plug 0 in, right? So if you take sine of 0, what are you going to get?
1.
If you take sine of 0, you're going to get
0.
0.
You need to shift that sucker.
Oh, so this one can't be a sine.
But if
Or we'd have to do
You
a
have to do
horizontal
both
shift.
for this one.
But you
You
can
have to
take
do
cosine.
both for this.
So
these
for this
problems.
problem, they said find all possible formulas of the form a sine or cosine of t plus k. My claim is that sine is not going to work for this one
For that one, yeah. So it's just cosine.
because the maximum value has to be at t is 0. And I need a horizontal shift to get there, but they didn't allow me a horizontal shift.
Oh, and because cosine
We're not
starts
allowed.
at the highest value.
Yeah, they said it's sine or cosine of t alone.
And you,
If I had sine or cosine of t plus some variable, then I could set that variable to adjust.
is
You should have let us
we
do
could
that.
have
the maximum starts at 0, so isn't that cosine anyway?
So this has to be cosine,
You are the weakest link.
and so all the possible functions are 2 cosine t plus 3. And I should probably give this thing a name.
B of
I'm going to
C.
call this thing a of t for answer.
B of C.
Fun.
That was a fun
You
version.
guys with that? And this is done. This is the best you can do for this thing.
That's okay.
Cool? Yeah.